off now than you were 4 years ago. So I've come today with a message of hope for all Americans with your beautiful vote. Oh, we don't want your money. I don't want your money. I want your damn vote, okay? We want that vote. I will end inflation. I will stop the criminal invasion of our country, the biggest problem we have right now. And I will bring back the American dream. And this is all you really need to know. We have somebody who's grossly incompetent. As I guess, I don't know, is she the vice president, the president? Is she a contender? What the hell is she? Kamala broke it, and I will fix it, and we'll fix it very quickly. And America will be bigger, better, bolder, richer, safer, and stronger than ever before. It's going to be. Right? You watch. This is going to be so much fun. That's the good thing about that little slippage that they had, that little, you know, because it showed how bad they are. It showed how bad they are. And there's never been spirit like we had. There's never been any race that we've ever had in the history of this country that's had this kind of spirit. So I just want to thank everyone. This election is a choice between whether we will have 4 more years of gross incompetence and failure, or whether we'll begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. They're going to be the 4 greatest years. And I'm asking you to, it's very hard for you to do this, to be honest with you, because you look at what's happened to our country and how the hell can you do this? But I'm asking you anyway to be excited about the future of our country again. Just be excited. We're going to turn it around. And I'm asking you, dream big. The American dream, just dream big. We're bringing it back. This will be America's new golden age. It's going to be the golden age. Look at this place. I mean, what the hell? How do you beat it? How do you beat it, huh? How's Eric doing? I think very well. Oh, boy. He's a great guy. He's a great-looking guy, too. Sometimes I'd say maybe he'd be better off without that mustache. I'm not sure. He's such a handsome guy. I said, I don't know. But, you know, I guess you better leave it because I hear you're leading, so we have to leave the mustache. Right? And you're doing great, Eric. Boy, oh, boy, we love it. We love it. We love this whole place. We had a little event here, you know, recently, you know that, right? That was the convention. We had the convention. I had a little patch on my ear, excuse me. Little patch. I said, I don't know. I was a little embarrassed walking out with the patch. But there's nothing you can do about some things. Every problem facing us can be solved, but now the fate of our nation is in your hands. It really is. We win this state, we win the whole thing. On Tuesday, you have to stand up and you have to tell Kamala that you've had enough, that you can't take it anymore. She's been the worst vice president in the history of our country. And you remember, just 5 months ago, everybody was saying she can't run, she's grossly incompetent. She was the worst vice president in history. We're not going to take it anymore, Kamala. You're fired. Get the hell out of here. So today was the last day for in-person early voting for most of Wisconsin. There's a little tiny section here, but I'm not going to get into the detail. But you still have until Sunday to vote early here in Milwaukee, as well as in Madison and Green Bay and Racine. We love Racine. We just left Green Bay. We had a great event. Was anybody at the one in Green Bay? That was our good. goes, how's your football team? You know what I liked? I love Brett Favre. And we got a call from Brett, and you have to admit he's a great guy, and boy, what a player. And I shook his hand. I said, man, that's the biggest hand I've ever seen. His fingers were like sausages. That's why he could throw a ball 80 yards, right? Nah, he was great, but he never did it before. It's such an honor because he never did it before. Thank you very much. No, Brett never did that before. You know, as an athlete, it's hard to do a little bit. You can't do it. You lose some fans, maybe. Who knows? Crazy people that say, oh, I don't like him because he likes somebody. But Brett was great, and we had an unbelievable day. And to get his endorsement, and he wanted to do it right here. He wanted to do it right in Wisconsin, any place he said in Wisconsin. And he gave me a full endorsement, and that was a great honor, right? That was a great honor. Great guy. He could really rip that ball. So thank you very much to Brett. So get everyone you know, you have to do it. You have to vote, vote, vote. We're going to win this thing, and we're going to win it big, and I'd love to win it right here. I'd love it. And if you haven't voted early, just come on Tuesday. We don't care at this point. We don't care when you vote. Just make sure you vote. And if you see anybody cheating, then what you do, you know what you do, report them immediately. No, we're doing great. We're leading just about, I think, all 7 swing states we're leading. But don't listen to me now. Don't listen. Just pretend we're 1 down, right? We're 1 point down, please. We don't want to say, oh, we don't have to vote today, Alice, because he's leading. No, don't do that. We've seen that stuff happen. We don't want to do that. Oh, the mic. Yeah, I think the mic stinks. I think it stinks. Oh, that's what I was wondering what the hell they were shouting. I think this mic stinks, by the way. And then we don't pay the contractor. I say, don't pay the contractor. Then they write a story. Trump doesn't pay his bills. He's a bad guy. No, the mic is terrible. I had another one. You know what? I've done 3 of these today. Somebody said maybe what we could do is maybe we could just skip the last one. I said, there's no way I'm skipping. There's no way. And this is the best one of all. Look at this place. The ladies from North Carolina, 259 of these they've come to. Look at them. They're beautiful. I don't know where the hell their husbands are. They're married. All of them are married. But they're great, and thank you very much. We're rounding the turn, aren't we, huh? We're rounding the turn. And we have front row Joes over here. Look at them, and we have Mr. Wall over here. You know, it is sort of sad. Is that mic now better back there? Oh, that pisses me off. They don't get it. Well, the mic at Madison Square Garden worked very well. Was that a great event? But honestly, it was basically the same crowd as you have here, right? Same thing. Your NBA arena, your team is very good. I would say the Greek is a seriously good player. Do you agree? And tell me, who has more Greek in him? The Greek or me? I think we have about the same, right? He's a great player, maybe the best player in the NBA, actually. He may be the best player. He's supposed to be a very good guy, too. But with your help, we're going to defeat Kamala Harris, and we're going to make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you. So in breaking news, the economy created a pitiful, you won't even believe this, the economy stinks. What timing? What timing? 4 days before the election, they have among the worst numbers ever in history. Nobody's ever heard. They did 12,000 jobs. Normally you're 250, 300,000, 400,000. They did 12. Think of it, 12,000 jobs. And it's hundreds of thousands of jobs less than it should be. Think. Because they're pathetic. They don't know anything. These people don't know anything. She's a very low IQ person. We don't need a low IQ individual. We just had that for 4 years. We don't need this. But those numbers are so low, they're almost disqualifying. The only thing good about the numbers I'm going to give you now are that it's great to run against the people that created those numbers because it's terrible. And just think, a few months ago, they fraudulently claimed, remember, 3 months ago, 818,000 jobs. It was a fraud. Everything they do is a fraud. And then they go after people that aren't frauds. They're a fraud. The whole operation stinks. But they created 818,000 fake jobs. And they thought they'd get away with it, and a whistleblower blew the whistle. And they blew the whistle. They thought they were going to announce. They call it a correction. That's a hell of a correction, by the way. That will be the world's biggest correction in history. What do you think, Ron Johnson? That's the biggest correction, was it? You know, corrections are meant for like 700 jobs, not almost 1 million jobs. But now they've just revised the past jobs number, right? Your last month. And they revised it downward by 112,000 fake jobs. So these guys are playing fast and loose. These are crooked people we're dealing with. The people we're running against are crooked as hell. So that's almost 1 million fake jobs. And I think it's something that Congress ought to look into, really. They ought to look at, who the hell ever heard of these numbers? And they wanted to revise them after the election. Could you imagine if you lost the election and then 2 days later, we've revised the numbers downward, 1 million jobs? Nobody's ever heard of it, but we thank you, Mr. Whistleblower. You know, some whistleblowers are very good. Kamala's failed economic agenda wiped out nearly 30,000 private sector jobs and nearly 50,000 manufacturing jobs in just the last month. Can you believe this? Nobody's ever heard of these numbers. Even I mean, I know they're incompetent, but I thought they were sort of riding along a little bit on what we built. With almost 100,000 manufacturing jobs killed since the beginning of the year. 100, that's a lot. 150,000, these are all the numbers coming out of the so-called government. Great government we have. 150,000 Americans joined the unemployment rolls last month. This is like a depression. And there's nothing, I mean, nothing, no event. I think they're trying to blame it on the hurricane. No, that was, you know, a relatively small area. No, not the hurricane. Not the hurricane. They're the hurricane. And nearly 250,000 people dropped out of the labor force, which is almost unheard of. No, these are the worst numbers anybody's ever heard of. The data shows that 100%, listen to this part, of all new jobs, net job gains in the past year have gone to illegal migrants. And the jobs were taken from African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and union workers. I don't think the unions are too happy about this. But I told you this was going to happen. It was inevitable. They're letting millions and millions of people flood into the country. And the African American population, if you see these numbers, then they're going to release them. But I think maybe, Ron, you should try and get them early because they're really bad. They have taken so many jobs away from African Americans, less from Hispanic, but that's going to catch up. But the African American job picture is unbelievable. And we had it going so good, but they've come in illegally and they've taken the jobs, and people that have had jobs for 20 years, good jobs, and raised raised a family, they had a little house and everything nice, and they've now lost their job to illegal migrants that are poured in through the open border policy of that stupid person. Kamala's inflation nightmare has, think of this, has cost the typical American family $30,000. Think of that one. Higher prices because the inflation's just raised. And you know what started? When they played around with my energy. I had no inflation. We had the greatest energy we've ever had. I was going to have it 4 times higher by now. And we're going to do that, but we got a little bit of a delay because... And we were going to have it 4 times higher. We were going to take care of Asia. We're going to take care of Europe. We're going to make a fortune. Start paying down debt. We have 35 trillion in debt. We're going to lower your taxes. I gave you the largest tax cut in the history of our country and the largest regulation cuts. And we were able to do more. Thank you. Thank you. And now she wants to impose the largest tax hike in American history on top of everything else and raise your taxes by more than $3,000 a year. Is everybody happy? I don't want to ruin your night, but don't worry, we're going to make it good. You got to suffer a little bit to get them out. Get those people out. They're grossly incompetent. I stand before you today as the only candidate who can rescue our economy from total obliteration and restore it to strength, prosperity, and actual greatness. We're going to restore you today. As the just released numbers plainly indicate, the economy is now a disaster. And are you listening to this, press? They're the most dishonest human beings. Are you listening to this? These people, you know, whenever I look at them, they turn the cameras off. The red lights go off like, you see them all go, they don't want any part of it. Now, that's a lot of press. That's a lot of cameras going so late at night. But no, we're gonna bring it back, and we're gonna bring it back fast. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna drill, baby, drill. We're gonna get the energy down. It's gonna come down. We're gonna drill, baby, drill. But I don't know if you know it, their economy is expected to get significantly worse. How does it get worse than that? It's really bad. Top Wall Street analysts, like Scott Bessent, who's one of the most brilliant guys on Wall Street, he said that the only reason the stock market is up is because everyone thinks Trump is going to win the presidency. That's pretty good. That's good. We had a great stock market. Can you imagine if Kamala won? You would go down to a 1929 style depression. I believe that too. No, that'd crush your incomes and kill millions of jobs and wipe out your savings. We're not going to let that happen. You got to get out of the vote. Just got to get out. I don't like to say, you know, it's when I win. No, I should say when or if. You know, I know, but it sounds a little braggadocio, right? All right, when I win, you are 4 days away from the best jobs, the biggest paychecks, and the brightest economic future the world has ever seen. Thank you. That's so nice. Thank you. Thank you. I will massively cut taxes for workers and small businesses, and we will have no tax on tips. No tax on overtime. And for our seniors, ready? No tax on Social Security benefits. And I am going to... This was given to me by a friend of mine. Actually, this was given to me by a great political reporter. A she said, "Sir, why don't you support and give a tax credit for family caregivers who take care of a parent or a loved one? I said, that's a good idea. So we're going to do that. Do you know, if you didn't have those people, you would not have enough hospitals in this country to take care of anything. You'd need to double your hospitals and your stuff. Those are the greatest people on earth, and they do it with love. And we're going to get them a tax credit. Is that okay? It's about time. To rapidly reduce inflation, I will end Kamala's war on American energy. We're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to frack, frack, frack. You know, she goes and she says, oh, no, I've always wanted to frack. This woman, she's the worst liar. Look, I had to go and beat crooked Hillary Clinton. She's crooked as a $4 bill. You know, I've never held a microphone up so long in my damn life. It's like I'm weightlifting. This sucker's heavy. But she's crooked as hell, right? Crooked Hillary. But she was less like, she didn't lie this way. This woman, Trump, is going to do, he's going to terminate your Social Security in his first week in office. No, no, no. I'm the one that's going to keep it going. No increases in age. He's going to ruin Medicare. He's going to do that. I see her today. She's at a news conference. First of all, she's exhausted. She looks like, no, she's exhausted, right? Man. And you know what? I've gone 62 days. No days off. I've done so many. I've done so many. I've gone 62 days. Today is an example. Yesterday I started off in New Mexico. You know why? It's not really a swing state, but it's a state that likes me a lot. It's got a thing called a border, and it's an open sieve. And people are pouring in by the thousands and thousands and doing a lot of destruction and doing a lot of crime. And I went there. We had a massive crowd. You couldn't even see the end of it. It was like early in the day on a regular weekday. And today I was in Michigan. We were all over the place. We were in Michigan, but I said, and Michigan's very important. You know, we're leading in Michigan. You know why? I'm going to bring back the car business, a little thing like that. You know, I told them today, a year ago I heard through a friend of mine who builds plants. He's a great plant builder, the best and the biggest in the world. He's building this massive plant, and I wanted to see it. I said, I want to see the plant you're building. He goes, well, it's not in the U.S. I said, then I don't want to see it. I'm not interested. I have no interest. Where is it? It's in Mexico. Who owns it? China. They're building this massive, they didn't start it. They're building this massive plant right on the border so they can make cars, sell them into the United States, and destroy the rest of Detroit. Take all the business away from Michigan, and in all fairness, Tennessee and South Carolina and lots of other places. And you to a lesser extent, but you too. But they're going to build this big plant. And I didn't like it. I said, that's killer. You know, they're trying to solve the Detroit situation, and we want to bring back company. And we're going to bring them back because you know why? The most beautiful word in the entire dictionary, you know what it is? It's tariff. The tariff. You're going to become so rich with the word tariff. You're going to become rich as hell. You're not going to know what to do with the money. I'm telling you, you're going to become very rich with the word tariff. And so I told them, and I was at the Detroit Economic Club. It was beautiful, and I was giving a talk, and I saw the guy that told me that they're going to start building a big plant in Mexico, right on the border. And he was in the audience, John, his name is. He's, I think, the biggest in the world at this stuff. It's very good. He told me if you asked me to build an apartment, I couldn't build it, or a road, they couldn't lay the asphalt. But a plant, he has no problem with computers all over the place and robots. Lots of robots, by the way. So I said, well, how's that going? I was making a speech, and I said, I'm right about there where that very beautiful girl is. I'm not allowed to say that. See the beautiful blonde girl right there? I said, Now, you know that's the end of your political career when you do that. You're not allowed to call anybody beautiful anymore. If you do, it's the end of your political career. Ron Johnson would never do that. That's why he's a great politician. No, right where that young lady is, John is sitting there. And I called him, I said, could you come back? And he comes backstage. Thank you very much. Fix the mic. Uh-huh. You gotta be kidding. Do you want to see me knock the hell out of people backstage? You want to see me? I don't mind if they want to come up a little forward or something, but it's a pretty stupid situation, but that's okay. I get so angry, I'm up here seething. I'm seething, I'm working my ass off with this stupid mic. I'm blowing out my left arm, now I'm gonna blow out my right arm, and I'm blowing out my damn throat too, because these stupid people. I'll make you a deal. Pretend you're listening to it perfectly, and I'll come back and do another one, okay? With a decent... It's so stupid. And you know, the only thing I ask for, I don't care about lighting, I don't care about teleprompters, because I never read the damn things anyway. By the way, isn't it nice to have a president that doesn't need a frickin' teleprompter? But I don't ask for much. I don't ask for much. The only thing I ask for is a good mic. And this is the second time today that this happened. So now if I were the president, and you know, like a dopey guy like this Kelly, the guy's a total moron, and that happened, I'd fire him, and everybody would say, gee, I'm such a bad person. You're not bad, you fire people. And for instance, the generals that destroyed us in Afghanistan, every one of them should have been fired. Should have been fired. Hello? Hello? I don't think so. Hello? Is that better? Is that better? That's terrible. Is that better back there? Is that yes or no? What crap. The only thing I ask for is a mic. You don't have to give me, I don't even need a stage. I don't give a damn. Give me a good mic. And I went through 2 of these today. And it knocks the hell out of your throat. But so far I'm doing okay, right? Okay. Is that better? Yeah. And did you notice I came in today, I said, and you know, this is after 4 of these things. I've been, in all fairness, I mean, I'm a human being, right? I come in, and here's the problem. I said, oh man, it's too low. I said, way too low. Way too low. So I walk in, I said, shit, there's nothing worse than I walk in like this, and I'm bent. Did you notice? I was bending over like this. Hello. And then everybody says, is there something wrong with his back? What the hell is wrong with that guy? They're saying he's cognitively impaired and physically impaired. There's something wrong with them all because I have guys that are stupid back there. All right, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, right? What a shame. But we're gonna come back. I'm gonna give you a free performance back in that corner. You got a bad area back there. But I think this is better. I think it's probably better. But what we're doing is we're going to cut your price of energy in half in 12 months. Because we have more liquid gold under our feet than Russia, than Saudi Arabia, than anybody. Oh, that sounds much better. Does that sound better? Oh, that's good. Now I don't have to come back. But we're going to cut it because we have all this beautiful liquid gold, and we're going to cut it, and it's going to drive everything down. It's going to be, you're going to get, okay, ready? January 20th, First of all, you're going to vote November 5th. You're going on Tuesday. That's number one, because we got to get that. I don't like talking about, like people are coming up to me, my staff over here, who are great. Sir, I'd like to recommend some people. I said, I don't want to talk about any people. First, I want to win, right? We don't want to talk about people. Don't tell me about people. Everybody wants a job. Remember, there was a moment where they were saying, oh, nobody wants to work for Trump. He's too difficult. He said, let me tell you a little secret. They die to work for us. You know why? Because they all want to be this glamour deal. They want to be in this beautiful administration. They want to be secretaries. No, they say, sir, nobody wants to work for you. Nobody wants to be Secretary of State and be known famous for the rest of your life. Nobody wants to be Secretary of the Treasury. Nobody. These people are nuts. It's these people right there. They don't want to work for Trump. They don't want to because he's difficult. You know why I'm difficult? Because I want perfection for our country. That's the only reason I'm difficult. So I will terminate the Green New Scam, one of the great scams in history. Remember our country was going to be dead in 12 years. Remember that? Well, we came up at the 12. What happened? Where are we? Let me tell you, they have global warming, right? They said global warming. They used to call it, but now they call it climate change. You know why? Because climate change covers cold, if it's too cold, if it's too climate change. We're suffering climate change. If it's cold, that's good. If it's hot as hell, that's good. It used to be global warming, and that wasn't working because we're actually cooling. So we have that, but you know the biggest warming problem we have is nuclear warming. So they talk all the time about the ocean will rise in 500 years, 1/8 of an inch. Who the hell cares, okay? Who the hell? But we have maniacs that have nuclear weapons, and we can't let that happen. And you need a smart president. As an example, Russia would have never gone into Ukraine if I were president. Zero chance with Putin. Zero. And everything Biden said, I said he's saying the exact opposite of what he should be saying. Israel would have never happened. That attack, October 7th, would have never happened. What a shame, right? What a shame. You know what else wouldn't have happened? Afghanistan, we would have left sooner, but we were going to leave with dignity and strength. Instead, we lost 13 great soldiers. I know their families. You know, Biden and Kamala would never call the families, not even one little phone call. I don't think they really wanted to hear from them in the end. But they wouldn't call. 13 great people were lost. Many people lost the legs, the arms, the face was just horrifically injured, obliterated in some cases. Nobody ever talks about them. I talk about them all the time because those people, they're going to suffer for the rest of their lives. It's so sad. What happened at Afghanistan, and because of that, by the way, Putin looked, he said, oh, the U.S. is a paper tiger. I guess I can finally go into Ukraine because it's the apple of his eye. Always was. He told me, no, I love it. He loved it, right? He loved it. He wanted it, but he would have never done it with me. Zero chance. Zero chance. So sad. So sad. So many things have happened. You know what else wouldn't have happened to you? You would have had no inflation. I had no inflation. You wouldn't have had. Inflation was caused by their stupid energy policy that drove the energy through the roof. It's not so complicated. To bring back millions of jobs, we will give our companies the lowest taxes, the lowest energy costs, the lowest regulatory burdens, and free access to the best and biggest market on the planet. And this mic is much heavier than the other one. I can do exercise. I can build up my muscle. But only for those who make their product here in the USA and hire American workers for the job. Right? Right? And if these companies don't make their product here in the USA, then they will be forced to pay a very stiff tariff when they send their products into the United States for the privilege of competing with our workers and taking our workers' jobs. We will now have protected companies. These companies will not leave because they're going to be protected by tariffs, because they can't be undercut. You know, I took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China Nobody talks about it. Those guys don't talk about anything. They only talk about bad. They only talk about fake news. But we took in hundreds of billions with a B, dollars from China. No other president took in 10 cents. Oh, you know, and I watched the other day, Mrs. Obama was nasty to me. What was that all about? What was that all about, Scott Walker? Nasty. Oh, look, it's Tommy Thompson. Holy mackerel. It's Tommy. Is that Tommy Thompson or am I? Stand up, Tom. Stand up, Scott. What a couple of real pros, good guys. But Tommy, I got along with him great. You know, in 2016, I wanted to win Wisconsin so bad. He said it's not doable. It's you are a very difficult state, but I won it. You know that. I did win it, despite your difficulty. I actually won it twice, but these are minor details. But which everyone knows. But Tommy Thompson, and he's a long-time governor, a long-time pro. I said, what do you think, Tommy? I have a big meeting. And it's hard. You know, you have all these states. You want to go to the states. And he said, sir, you're wasting your time if you come to Wisconsin. I said, I don't feel that way, Tommy. I had like one of these deals, except with fewer people, to be honest. You know, we become more popular with time. But it was good. It was big. I said, I don't think so. He said, sir, I'm telling you, you're wasting your time. But here's what I'll do. I don't want you to go to Pennsylvania, go to Michigan, go to these places you have to win. Don't do it, sir. But here's what I'm going to do. I never forgot it. It was the weirdest thing. He said, sir, don't do it. But if I feel you can win it, or if I feel you're going to win it, if something happens over the next couple of months, I'll call you and you can do it then. I said, wow, that's a great idea. So 3 weeks go by and I get a phone call. They said, sir, there's a Governor Tommy Thompson on the phone. I said, who the hell is that? You sort of forget. You sort of forget, right? You know, it's like you're focused on the... I said, well, it's like Tommy. So I said, hi, Tommy, how you doing? What's up? Sir, it's time for you to get in that little chopper and come right up to Wisconsin. You're going to win this, sucker. He said, you're going to win it. And he was right, right? He was right. He was right. I got in that chopper. I was up here so fast they couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe you could travel that fast. No, and we won. We had a great victory. And I will say this, we're much more popular. This is a much bigger movement. You know, Make America Great Again, MAGA. It's the greatest movement by far in the history of our country. It's amazing. There's never been anything like it. And people don't even fight it anymore, really. They don't win. But it's the greatest movement. And when Biden was doing that thing with the purple background, you remember that? He looked like the devil, right? You remember that? Sebastian, have you gotten taller, Sebastian? What's going on with you? Sebastian, do you remember? Why are you standing? Do they not have a seat for you? He's giving me applause before we... He's a great guy. Does everybody listen to his show? He's been loyal. I'll tell you one thing. That guy was with me through thick and thin. Anything that came up, he said, the president is innocent. I said, oh, thank you, Sebastian. He would say, I don't know exactly what they're accusing him of, but he's innocent. No, Sebastian's been great. He's been a very good, loyal friend, a really good friend, and a really talented guy, smart. But we are now more popular. This is the weave, you know, a little weave, right? You know, they used to say, these are stupid people, they used to say, he rambled. I don't ramble. I do a weave. You know what a weave is? It's a story. And as you're telling the story, you realize that there's a little offshoot. Go up here. But the key is then you have to come back. And then you're doing the story, you're getting down to bottom line, and boom, you do another little